All right, good day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me on this great episode of your favorite political talk show, The Truth with Ben Jokes. Now, for those of us who can read between the lines, the confusion in this administration is just so loud. As funny as it sounds, there are still a few Nigerians who believe that what we are going through right now is a phase that will end soon. What these gullible few don't know is that the officials of this government are just doing trial and error. How do you expect great results? How do you expect the right answer to a complex equation from a student who can't even find the right formula? And this confusion has brought about serious contradictions and arguments in the Tinubu camp. Just 2 days ago, we saw a jury in Galale coming out to say that the information that Bayo Ononuga gave out was false information. Weeks before then, the CBN governor Yemi Cardoso criticized Tinubu's sharing of palliative, meaning he's criticizing the whole team that is behind the sharing of that palliative. He said it has led to food inflation. And few hours ago, Tinubu's special advisor on the economy, Tope Faswa, who of course is one of those on the team that shares palliative, in a video criticized the CBN governor's increase of interest rate as a method of curbing food inflation. You can see confusion everywhere. Then he went ahead to propose his own method for curbing food inflation, and it became clear that Nigeria is in danger with men like him around. Before I show you that video and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you this update. The exit of another foreign company, adding to the endless list of exiting multinationals. Look at how the papers reported it. Just in, like GSK, Huggies exits Nigeria after 14 years. As Tinubu moves across the globe to attract investors, some companies in the country are exiting for reasons best known to them, like GlaxoSmithKline Consumer Nigeria PLC, that announced plans to cease operations and transferring its business activities to a third-party organization in August 2023. Kimberly-Clark, makers of Huggies, on Friday made public its plans to stop local manufacturing and sales in Nigeria. Huggies' plans was disclosed in a statement made known to newsmen. The company noted that its decision to leave the country was made owing to its recently refocused corporate priorities globally. Read part of the statement. Kimberly-Clark today announces it has made the difficult decision to exit its business in Nigeria after almost 15 years due to recently refocused company strategic priorities globally, as well as economic developments in the country. Kimberly-Clark will close its manufacturing facility and commercial office in Lagos and will no longer manufacture, market, or sell its Huggies and Cortex products in the country. Other companies that had existed in Nigeria in recent times include Sanofi Aventis Nigeria Limited, which halted its operation in November 2023, Procter & Gamble, an American multinational consumer goods company, which announced its exit plans in December 2023. Wow, what a disaster. And look at how Nigerians reacted. Look at some of the tweet reactions. This sarcastic tweet here by Emo Bossan says, "Big lie. Our old national anthem has solved the economic problems in Nigeria. GSK and Huggies are not saying the truth." Yes, he's being sarcastic because amidst all these problems, all these guys could think of was to change national anthem. And Ayodeji Kayode says, what is remaining for God's sake? That's a big question. What is remaining of this country? In just 12 months and 2 days, look at what these guys have done. And this tweet by Ugo says, the only solution to Nigeria's problem now is to take us back to regional governance with full autonomy and completely end monthly allocations to all states. Insecurity will die naturally, and fierce competition will move from insult and hatred to showing actual workings on ground. Since many people are stupid, they come online to say Igbos this, Yoruba this. The country is sinking and you guys are still going around with ethnic slurs. I have always been and advocates for. It is either Nigeria gets it to work or you separate it. I am not fixated on one thing. If you cannot get a nation to work, there is no point being a nation. And if we are going to get it to work, it is not with men like this. It is with men with brains that know what to do. And if the corruption and the evil are not going to allow those ones to come, then split it up into regional structure. Now, let us look at that video where Special Advisor to Tinubu on the economy, Tope Fasua, criticized the increase of interest rates as CBN governor's method of fighting food inflation. Then himself went ahead to propose a counterproductive method. See the video.
But the point is that, it's clear, I've written about this, whether internally, even externally, to say, what, the kind of inflation we're dealing with will not only be solved by interest rate hikes and like that. It's looking like this is not quite a,
right. So what would you advise them
a demand side kind of inflation, right. Given that, we're not assuming that people have so much money. They're the monetary as well, the monetary economists who always want to talk about money supply, money supply. I'm not one of those, because I think our economy is a lot more basic than some of the things that Milton Friedman said in his time.
Absolutely.
And so basically it's about, what I'm advising is this, if food inflation is driving at 40.53%, that's scandalous anyway, but we can actually begin to really tackle that. I support the Minister of Agric going after where is my food coming from? Who's taking my food abroad without documentation? What is happening with our food export? If we can block that, there's going to be a lot more food immediately.
You heard that. That was Mr. Tope Fasua, Tinubu's special advisor on the economy, throwing the CBN governor's policy on curbing inflation under the bus. But what is most shocking is that he is advising the Minister of Agric to block exportation, instead of him to be talking about programs that can improve and increase the volume of food being produced in this country. He's talking about blocking exportation. These people clearly have a problem with being productive. They don't believe in it at all. How can you be talking about blocking exportation and the same government is looking for foreign exchange, is looking for dollars to come into the country? Why do you think that it is only through borrowing that you can have dollars come into Nigeria? This is such a shame. And look at how Nigerians reacted. Look at some of the tweet reactions. And this tweet here by Sam Hope says, why not target to produce above local demand and export surplus? That is the way to go if you want to increase food security and foreign exchange earnings. To further crash food prices, create a glut. This is ABC of economics. Everything is not blocking and squeezing. I tell you, these guys are so clueless. And this tweet by Vincent Atta says, this guy has a problem. One of the main drivers of inflation in Nigeria is trade imbalance. We import more than we export, which in turn exposes our economy heavily to dollars. And because of that, cost of goods and services are high. So what we should be targeting is exportation. And how do you export? By being very productive, by producing more than enough. This is what Peter Obi keeps hammering on, but these guys have no clue. And Big Ralph here says, see who be economic advisor, and you still dey wonder why there is so much misery and perjury in the country. Nigeria tire me. That is it. How can this kind of person be dishing out advice? And this tweet here by Olatunji B. Femi says, this is ironic and then tragic. This man here using fine economic grammar, whataboutism, and reading the mind of the president, was once a presidential aspirant. He has written some brilliant pieces in the past about Nigeria's socio-economic realities. What really happened to him? He is now eating. He's eating with them, so he has thrown all that away. And Akin says everything is block and ban to these people. Follow basic rules of economics and see miracles. Supply and demand. Government's biggest priority should be security and provision of infrastructure that makes transportation easy and cheap. Simple. Alabo says, if you block exports, including food, where do you get the dollars you so crave for? Obviously, oil isn't enough for that. These guys don't know all that. They are just doing trial and error, running from pillar to post. Now, one thing is clear here, and that is the fact that the country is in the hands of paper economists. People who went to school, studied, sat in class and wrote exams to obtain certificates, they have never gone into practical business. And Nigeria's economic reality since 2015 cannot answer to textbook solutions. We need practical businessmen. The other day, the same Tope Fasua was saying when Cardoso was using the foreign reserve to bring dollar down, but prices were not coming down. He said when Nigerians go to the market, they should challenge traders. Tell them, oh boy, dollar don't come down, reduce your price. And that will just tell you that the man, Tope Fasua, is far removed from the realities of the Nigerian business world. And he is the economic advisor. Then you have the CBN governor who thinks that increasing interest rates will reduce inflation in Nigeria because he read in a textbook that when you reduce the money in circulation, demand and purchasing power will reduce, and that will in turn reduce inflation. And boom, he began raising interest rates to reduce the money in circulation. Who told you that the inflation in Nigeria is a demand pull inflation? Who told you that? This inflation was caused by government policies on subsidies, exchange rate, and import duties. But who is at the end of all their inefficiencies and failures? It is the people. And unless the people rise to change them, this nonsense will never stop. This is how it will continue. There is no light at the end of this APC tunnel. And when Nigerians are prepared and ready to take their country back, they know what to do. But until then, make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news wey una go like. Why? Because na because of una na I dey here. So don't go away. Don't go away.